and I'll upload it to you so that you guys could post it on your YouTube as well.
Okay, that's nice. Hi partners, and many thanks for attending our Cloudiax solution webinar. Will be hosted by me, Ayman Bank from Cloudiax, and Mike Nardini from ThirdWave. Cloudiax is a cloud platform, fully managed cloud platform for SAP Business One for SQL and HANA for $50 or euro per user per month and customer price without any setup cost from one user and each user he will get both of Access LTP and web browser HTML5 client. Upgrades and updates is included in our standard offering, and also further on we provide SAP Business One Cloud and with a ready-to-run SAP solution. Our motto is, we say Cloudiax, you can run it on Cloudiax if it runs on premise. So this is the list of our partners, the SAP partners, and the solutions that are already ready to run on Cloudiax. As example, ThirdWave. And for the customer on Cloudiax, where you can use a 3 business model. The first one is swap to cloud and to push your existing customer, which require each 5 days a new hardware, to go directly to Cloudiax with their own on-premise license. And the second thing is hybrid cloud, is that the customer can buy his on-premise license and hire the IT infrastructure and the system from Cloudiax. So that means he will pay just monthly fee. And the third business model is pure cloud. Customer, they will hire the cloud SAP Business One Cloud license from SAP, and also they will run it on Cloudiax and pay just a monthly fee for Cloudiax. You don't need for any big or upfront investment. IT landscape, we take care about that. Administrated and maintained from Cloudiax teams. Scalable and flexible, so you can add users. You can start with 5 and add 1 users in 24 hours. Work anytime, any place with any device. Also, you'll have SAP Business One always up to date, and you don't need to be a specialist in cloud infrastructure technology or something else. Cloudiax focus just 100% on SAP Business One and HANA and SQL. Mikael, the stage is yours right now. So.
All right. Well, thank you for that, and thank you, Cloudiax, just for hosting this this webinar and inviting some attendees. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So today I'm going to be talking about ThirdWave, our company, and also our credit card add-on. So ThirdWave, as you can see, ThirdWave has been around a very long time, serving merchants since 2003. And because of our direct SAP sales expertise and the add-ons that we provided to partners and customers, we've been recognized and received numerous awards from SAP for our ability to continually help small businesses find a solution that helps them automate and grow their business, and also to help partners offer a more complete solution to fill some of the gaps that may not be solved with SAP directly. As I mentioned, ThirdWave has been around since 2003, and this particular add-on, the credit card, we've developed since 2006. So our solution is very mature, and it's been used by 350 companies, and that's around 4,700 end users. It has been fully certified by SAP, and it is available on both HANA and SQL. And the PADSS certification requirements is definitely something I'm going to touch on in a little bit, but I just thought, I'd mention it here. So what is the ThirdWave credit card add-on? It is a system that allows you to connect to global payment gateways. AuthorizeNet is the primary gateway that we work with, and it's accepted in the US, Canada, Europe, UK, and Australia. CyberSource is an additional gateway that we work with, and that's accepted in 190 countries and actually works with 21 currencies. So more information on that, depending on, where the business is located, and, how we could let you know how we can help from there. Standard Business One features basically allow you to enter one credit card per business partner. What we do is we allow it to still set up a default, but we let the merchant or the customer, the customer could have more than one credit card, so we allow them to add in, as many as they need under each business partner, while still allowing one to be the default. And then they could split the payments up across, multiple credit cards. If it's split 50-50 or, $100 on a credit card and then the balance on a second card, we can do things like that with some of these features. PCI compliancy, it's obviously a very important topic, and it's basically important to know that we were the only application that has ever undergone a full PCI compliancy test. So we were fully PADSS certified by one of the 50 vendors that Visa, lets certify applications. And we're going through some other certifications so that we can, make sure we're continually listed on that. But the fact that we've gone through some of that and built, an infrastructure to be able to protect the cardholder data is very important to know. We do support some complex workflows. So if you're charging the card up front, or if you're going to pre-authorize the card and then capture or settle the transaction after the goods are shipped, we allow for some flexibility there under different scenarios. So we're very flexible and able to help the merchant, handle charging the card on any different document that they need and capturing it, at the certain points that they need as well. Batching, so we can still authorize cards one by one. But if they need to do batch authorization, say if they're importing 50 or 100 orders from an e-commerce store, we allow them to do the authorizations in a batch. And also if they ship out 100 orders in a day, they could go ahead and do the settlement or capture of those credit cards, in a batch mode, as opposed to doing that one by one. And lastly, if the merchant or business is located in the U.S. or Canada, we have a direct processor relationship with somebody who provides merchant services. So we can certainly help analyze the percentage that the business pays for the Visa, MasterCard, and Discover transactions and help them just save a little bit, on that percentage. So this could add up, quite a bit over time. And definitely something we'd encourage you to look at if the merchant is, U.S. or if they're in Canada. We could definitely help with that. PCI is a very important issue, so I just wanted to share this with you quickly because every small business certainly needs to make sure that they're following PCI requirements. So if you look here, this is the list of the PCI Security Standards Council basically set up these 12 requirements, and this is when a merchant or a business fills out a questionnaire saying whether or not they as a business are PCI compliant. They need to certify that all these 12 options are checked off, meaning they're using a system that's protecting their data, they're restricting certain people from seeing a card, they're maintaining a firewall. So a lot of this is on the business to handle, but I wanted to just highlight a couple things because with using SAP, obviously they have the capability to change and enter in complex passwords, which we encourage them to set up. We encourage, partners to help the business set up maybe 60, 90 days to change the password, add in components like letters, numbers, and symbols to make sure that the password is unique, and that it can't be, you can't figure out what the password is to log in and view anything in the front end. And each user ID, each person is able to set up their own unique user ID. So with Third Wave, with our credit card add-on, what we do is we help the business be PCI compliant by providing him a system that protects the stored data. So we encrypt the credit cards. We store them in one of the three major encryption methods, again, certified by one of the PCI vendors, that allows them to just check off that box. So essentially by having these 5 elements done, it skips them through almost half of the PCI requirements, as long as they note that they're using the third wave add-on, which has done a PCI certification. Restricting access to the cardholder data. We use our encryption keys unique to, each business to make sure that everything is protected. So it's very important to know from a PCI standpoint that, being that we've been around this for a long time, we put a lot of controls in place to help the business become PCI compliant and, pass a majority of the technical pieces that they need. So when it comes to things that we do, what we provide the direct access to solve those issues. And when it comes to other things like the firewall, antivirus, things like that, we do recommend some options for them in our PCI implementation guide. So it's just important to know that the business has some guidance from us on things that we are out of our control. So let me go ahead and flip over to Business One really quick, and I will give you a quick tutorial of what our add-on does. So if you look in once our add-on is implemented and installed, we do have a configuration screen. So to begin, you can basically authorize the card on different documents. So you can use the sales order delivery, the AR down payment, or the AR invoice. So again, there's some flexibility of when they want to charge the card, what screen they want to do it on, and all that depends on their, business model and timing of when they want to apply certain things there. Markup is basically when you authorize the card. If they're doing an authorization and settlement later, it lets them authorize the card for a little bit more than the original. So if they were doing, a $100 order and $90 was the merchandise and $10 was the shipping, they could enter a percentage of, 5%, and it would authorize actually $105. So that if their $10 of shipping was an estimation, and it needed to be $12, this would let them capture $102 when they go to settle that transaction, even though the order started at $100 with, $90 worth of product and $10 worth of shipping. So instead of creating a second transaction on the customer's credit card statement, this lets them do just a single transaction. Credits. So we have a feature for, actually the AVS checking, I'm just going to jump over that really quick because in the past, some of the banks and some of the systems did not require AVS checking, but in today's world, matching the address validation is very important. So we're going to go ahead and keep that checked on the implementations, and this actually may go away in some of the future releases. As far as credits go, there is some protection in some of the gateway systems to match the refund to the original charge. So this feature, if unchecked, will make sure that if they're trying to refund a card, it will look for the original transaction and match it against that. So this way you can't have, the merchant doesn't have to worry about fraud where somebody might try to refund their own credit card for an existing order in the system. And also that they're not refunding more than the original amount, things like that. So import data key, we do have the ability to import transactions from e-commerce stores. So if they are using, Magento, a big commerce, or, any other e-commerce system where they're taking orders on the web, if they bring those orders into SAP, we have a import data key where we can decrypt the card that comes from the web, and then we would re-encrypt it with our data encryption key. So this way, the web is storing the cards, may or may not be storing the cards, but when they come in, we make sure that we decrypt it, and then we encrypt it with the key that SAP is going to use, that our add-on within SAP is going to use. So this just enables the business to know that the transactions, the credit cards are all stored in a compliant manner, and no one would be able to access that data and decrypt it. Also, you can notice there's the processor tab. So this is where we would actually set up which gateway it is, authorized net or CyberSource, or et cetera. We can obviously set it live, test, or in demo mode. So I'm in demo right now, so I would be able to authorize a couple cards and give you an idea what how that works. And then there's just things like a login ID and a transaction key, which is like a password. So we obtain that from the gateway, we plug it in here, and then obviously you can see on the front end, you're seeing it in an encrypted manner. So you can't even see what the login ID is, in this case. And credit cards are encrypted in a similar manner. Reauthorization. So if you have an credit card that expires, so you're allowed to hold the authorization for 30 days. And if it took longer than that to ship, you would then be able to reauthorize the card. I have it set to 7, but normally it can go up to 30 days where you hold the card. So when you do these reauthorizations, again, this could happen in a batch mode or one by one. We do have integration for level 2 and level 3 integration, which enables the business to save quite a bit in the percentage that they pay for the Visa MasterCard. So it's transmitting extra fields and it's transmitting certain data that's required for it to qualify for lower percentages. So again, depending on where their business is located, let me know. I'll have my contact info at the end of this webinar, and you can reach out to me and we can see if we have a way to help some of these clients set up a certain way. So now let's take a look real quick at a business partner screen. And as I mentioned, the standard SAP feature allows you to just store the one credit card in the profile. So if I look at pull up one of these business partners, if I go to the payment terms, you can see this is the default functionality where you can store a card type, a credit card number, the expiration date. And that's the card that would be used on every transaction that you put through, unless you were to change that. What we did with our add-on is we added this additional tab for credit card, and now they can set up a default, but they can just continually, you can set up this Visa as set default card, and then they could add an additional one. So if they had an Amex, if they had a MasterCard, if they had another Visa, Visa 2, we can set up as many as they need in cases where they need to split one order across multiple credit cards. So let's go ahead, let me just create an order real quick. I can show you how we go ahead and process this. So if I create an order, let me look up an item, A. Okay. So I have special pricing where my $100 item is now $85. My tax is calculated at $5. Enter delivery date today. Ship it out today. Now when I add the sales order, what it does is it's prompting me because I forgot to charge the credit card, and it's saying, would you like to authorize this document now? So in my settings, I had it set up so I could charge a card on the sales order. I could hit no and process the order and convert it over to delivery if I wanted to charge the card later at the delivery time. But I'd like, in this case, to charge the card up front. So I'm going to go ahead and hit yes. And now it brings up the credit card authorization screen. So you can see here the percentage markup was set at 5%. So my order that was $90.10 would be authorizing for $94.61 here because of the 5% markup. Now you can also override this at the time of order entry. So if I know that I don't need to worry about freight and the tax is legit, I'm not going to give any more discounts, I could take this percentage away and eliminate that so that there is no issue of authorizing an additional amount. And now you can see my balance due is matching the sales order total of $90.10. So I can, enter in an amount. If I wanted to just do a partial charge, I could put $50 on this Visa, add another card to do the remainder, $40.10. Or, I can just enter it in right now for the full amount, $90.10. It automatically pulls in the address information attached to that business partner. But again, you can have different cards with different bill to addresses. Maybe my mother wants to buy something for me, so I put in her credit card number and her address. So you can add, multiple scenarios in there, and it's very flexible, even in a B2B world, where different businesses might be purchasing under different names and different addresses. So you can enter that amount in. We'll refresh that. I'm going to authorize the card. Missing invalid. Oh, okay, so I refreshed it and just have to enter the amount in one more time. 0.1. And you could see it connected out. Since I am in demo mode, it just populates the authorization code right in here. Otherwise it would connect out to the gateway and put in the authorization code that was live. But since we're in demo mode, it comes back almost immediately with that information. So next, real quick, let's look at the batch functionality. I'm going to go ahead and close the sales order out. So we're going to go to banking, incoming payments, TWBS credit card. And first we'll look at the batch authorization. So if I were to import orders from an e-commerce store, depending on how I had it configured in SAP to build it out, if I created it as a sales order, it would come in here and be listed as available to charge the credit card. So I'm going to look at, you can basically select all the orders that you want to charge, if you wanted to do a whole batch, or you could select one or two at a time. So in this case, I'm going to pick on two of the ones that I did yesterday, and I'm going to authorize them. So you'll see it's going to go out. Oh, it's going looking for the amount. A credit card number is required. So I may have one of these test orders that I may have set up improperly yesterday. Let's see if I can just pick that one. Credit card number. Okay, so I may not have selected the credit card in this particular order. Let's see here. Cancel out of there because it's bringing up an older one. The batch processing screen, instead of the authorization, is looking at which cards you can settle. So you have some cards here, either you have unsettled authorizations, so you may have authorized the card at one point in time, and then you want to go ahead and capture it. So there is a box down here that when you settle that transaction, it could go ahead and create the incoming payment and apply that appropriately as you need. And also on the settled authorizations, you can take a look. Really quick, there is two other features in here that are pretty important. First is just the card authorization search. So you may want to look on any of the sales orders, deliveries, for a document number and see what credit cards show up for where that credit card number is showing up. So you may have a dispute. A customer may have disputed the credit card transaction, and the business might need to look up which order it was applied to and look up the amount. They may have just given you the 6-digit authorization code, and you need to look that up. So you could type in PK. In this case behind us, we'll look up this one, PK 1F ZN, and then it tells us that it was applied to document number 203. So we can see that this was authorized in May of 2016. This was the transaction ID returned from the gateway system. It was a test card, Visa, with the expiration date. So if I go ahead and try to settle that, because it's more than 30 days, it would definitely fail right now. But I can go back and find out when that authorization happened, how much it was for, and it would be a little bit of an order history of what happened here. One last feature before I jump out, or two features actually really quick before I jump out of here, is the credit card expiration. This basically, if you have a lot of recurring payments, this lets you take a look at which credit cards are going to expire or have expired. So right now I have two cards in the system, one for this customer here, which I set up on a bunch of the orders, so it expired in December of last year. So that's why I have a lot of those orders sitting in my authorization screen, because we selected the wrong credit card and it was just expired. So I can go ahead and open that business partner. You can have somebody in customer service give a call out, and they look up everybody. Let's see here. So you look into the credit card screen here. We'll look at the Amex. and now we can update the expiration date. So they, we called them up and they said it was, May of 2019. So I can update that, and now that will go ahead and update all the records in the database for this business partner that has an American Express, and it will put in the new expiration date. It's operating completed successfully. One thing I forgot to mention in the sales order, see here, go into one of the last orders I created. Is basically we have an additional tab for sort of an audit history. So if you look at this order, this is when I entered for $90.10. If I go to the credit card log, which is again a new tab that we've created for the sales order or for any other order where you're getting an authorization, we have basically the history. So you would see when you authorized the card, you would see when you captured it or settled it. Again, it repeats the date you did it, whether it was, maybe they tried it and it was declined 3 times and then it was successful. So if from a customer service standpoint, if the business needs to go back and tell the customer why there was a delay in shipment, they could go in here and maybe find out that the credit card was declined a couple times over a 3-week period, and then maybe the 4th week they tried the card again and then it went through. So this log is an audit history just going back of any credit card type of activity that happened for that particular document. So with that, let me go ahead and jump back to our presentation. And give you a quick update on that's our credit card. What I did just want to quickly mention is we do have a number of other add-ons. We have an electronic fund transfer. So this is using the SAP Business One Payment Wizard to create EFT or ACH bank files. So we'd basically be able to find out who the bank is that they're using, get the file specs of what they would need us to transmit, and this is another add-on that we'd be able to separately assist them with. There's a number of others, Advanced Productivity Pack, where we can do some comprehensive automation for customizing fields, adding a click-through macro so they could save steps on completing certain tasks within Business One. Marketing and campaign, basically managing leads without making them business partners, and then doing some sort of marketing against that. So, creating a list, doing targeted email campaigns, promotions, things of that nature. RMA, we did a demo on this last week, so I'd be able to send anyone a video of that. But basically, this is tracking the intent of a customer to return a product to the business, and then managing the entire RMA process from inspecting the item, seeing whether or not you could resell it or put it back into stock, or if it needs to be refurbished, through a service call and then sent back to the customer, things like that. Ship Easy. Obviously, we have some integration to the major carriers, UPS, FedEx, USPS. Project Accounting Suite, this is a very large product that we have, and something that can help seamlessly integrate into Business One, and allows you to manage the tasks of projects, of a project lifecycle really, to estimating it, the project setup, time and expense for different stages, and then some comprehensive reporting, which would be built in conjunction with our Advanced Productivity Pack, which is another powerful reporting tool, where not only can you create the reports, but you can create some charts, dashboards, interactively. So you could change fields around, change subtotals, things of that nature. So with that, again, I just wanted to thank Cloudiax for allowing us to host, for hosting and allowing us to showcase another add-on, our credit card. So on the screen here, you'd find Eamon's contact information, my contact information. I appreciate the time you guys spent jumping on this call. Eamon, did you have anything to add before we close out?
No. Many thanks, Mikael, and yeah, we look forward for the question of our partner, and we get in contact with them as soon as possible, and we send them also the presentation material.
Okay.
We have a question, I think. Just give me a second. You have a question?
Sure.
Yes, from Sebastian.
Okay, yeah, which payment providers? So the core of the providers are AuthorizeNet and CyberSource right now. And depending on where the merchant or where the business is located, what country and where the business is operating, that's where we can determine which gateway we would set them up with. So if you'd like, just shoot me a quick email with some of the business information where they are, and I can let you know which is the best way. Because we do have the ability to work with 21 currencies with CyberSource. So it is pretty flexible in the options we have.
Thank you.
And hopefully by later today or tomorrow, I should have this recording available. So I'll go ahead and post it on our YouTube. I'll send it to Cloudiax. I think they have
Yeah.
YouTube as well. And
Yes.
I appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you all our partners, and ciao ciao.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Bye bye.